Right, a few questions on that. The build up to the week was really good. Um, Even though we won against Edinburgh, we were quite disappointed probably with how we performed. So we were looking to put together a performance, and obviously the magnitude of the game being at Leinster, Open Crow Park, it was probably a perfect week to just everyone just was really dialed in, very focused. Um, Training was intense, both sides of the ball. There was lads who didn't make the team who were disappointed, and credit to them, they prepped us so well. Be it from the line out set piece to the back moves to just the training in general. You know, lads don't get seen very often, but it's those lads that are showcasing it and putting the bright pictures for us to prepare for the weekend. You know, have to give them a lot of credit last week, and it's the exact same this week with another Interpro. Camp is good. You know, look, it's no secret. There's a good vibe around the place, and why wouldn't there be? But in terms of Monday, it was just probably about getting the bodies right, getting recovering, having clarity, getting all over that. We didn't go on the field on Monday, but it allowed us then to train at a high intensity today, which was really good. It was sharp, it was short and sharp, but like that, I think it's all well and good beating Leinster, but I think backing it up now this weekend, that really lays a stamp down to the league, you know, that we're here and we mean business. Yeah, I suppose there was disappointment last season missing out on on the end of the season, coming back from injury, and you know I missed big games like La Rochelle, Bordeaux, and you know so I made a decision in the off season to get my body right, to put myself in the best foot leading into the season. And when you have a new management coming in, and you know you want to impress, you want to showcase what you can do. So I bulked up, and you know bringing another level of physicality to the pack. I think that's something that we're going to go after this season. And then being adaptable, you know, I found myself playing seven this week. I hadn't played there in a couple of years, but it it, it doesn't really matter. I suppose Don gives us the autonomy that it doesn't matter the number on your back. You know what I mean? That we're all rugby players. That everyone has to be able to fit into different systems, into different positions. And I think you saw that Tyg found himself out on the edge a lot, where normally he's in that middle, those middle pods, and we were able to transition quite easily between, you know, be it for me 6 on my back, 7 on my back, for Tyg 4, 5, 6. It allows people to play their role, but it may be a little bit different. But I think it worked really well the weekend. We haven't really probably looked back much, and we always said that, you know, we were targeting this first block. I said to you in pre-season that we're going to have a fast start. We're going to put ourselves in a good position leading into it. I think we won't really look back probably until till we're over Connacht or even Argentina. That when we have that time in November to look back, I think that's when we'll reflect on it. But very much we're just building week to week, using different things that we see where we need to go be better. Prime example, Cardiff, Edinburgh, and then leading into to Leinster, and then it's about how do you layer that again going into Connacht. And I think massive one for us is going to be being at home this weekend, and you know fans travel up to Crow Park, gave us unbelievable atmosphere, gave us unbelievable support, and now we want to do that in Tone Park. You know, we want to make Tone Park a place where fans love to come, love playing, come to watch us play a good brand of rugby. Yeah, look, Tom's been incredible for us. It's nothing short of what he deserves. He's he's a big game player, and he showed that the weekend in his stats, even all from last season, that you know he's able to play on the international stage, and I really hope that he gets that opportunity to put on a green jersey and to become an Irish international, because you know the performances that he's put down for Munster, but also for Connacht in the last few years, it's something that he certainly deserves.
It's been good, yeah. The buzz has obviously been right up there. Without obviously getting ahead of ourselves, it's only 4 games we've played. We're playing our 5th game another Interpro on the weekend. You know, we're playing against a team that, you know, I suppose look at even last year's fixtures. There was, I think the score was a 33-30 or so, and 30-24 or something. They were very, very close games. So we're fully aware of obviously the challenge that's ahead, but getting this week right, and that's the one thing we spoke about on Monday. In terms of getting it physically right, but mentally right as well. So as a staff, we spoke Monday morning early about how we'd set up the week to make sure that we're at the right pitch on Saturday, because look, after I suppose a good performance and a good win, and I suppose when you do have a good performance, a good win against a team like Leinster, it's the thing on people's lips will be to back it up, and that's the challenge this week, that we make sure how we set out training physically, that we're in the right place, mentally we're in the right place, but at the right time as well, and that has to be Saturday. So we had a good, I suppose, coaches meeting Monday morning, as I said. We went through day by day and how we feel we get to the players to the right pitch on Saturday. Yeah, very, very much so. I think when we look and we scout players, you really look for someone that can fit into your framework, both sides of the ball. And we felt with Dan, just I suppose we play in different times of the year here, obviously, where you've dry ball and you'll have a wet ball. So I think our midfielders, and then you got to balance your other midfielders as well, the types of profiles they are. So for certain midfielders that can get you gain line, we'll call it, and are able to play ball as well, and that's one thing that Dan can do, and the thing with him as well, he's 24 years of age, I think, but he has a good bit of experience, and you could see it. And even, I go back to the few days that we were speaking to him about potentially coming over here, and having conversations with him. You could see that he was an experienced player for his age. He's an English capped international as well at a young age of 21, I think he was. So with plenty of experience there, and had learned. He was in one or two different clubs in England, and you could see he's learned different ways of playing the game, and I suppose he's upskilled himself in that way. So he's been very, very positive. He's fitted in really well. He's a very good, calm communicator as well. So, and you get that from speaking to him, but you get it from the players as well, that would often say to me how much calmness he brings out there, and that helps people around you, confidence wise. Yeah, very, very important. Obviously, it was a drawn game, but I think the performance in terms of the character they showed, and then the way they came back into the game, second half, obviously, 26 points down. Good signs there, and something we need, because as you've probably seen already, we've used 36 players after 4 games. Through obviously injuries. You look at a lot of teams now, and that's the nature of it. We're losing, obviously Lions players for certain squads came back late. We're losing international players now with obviously the international window. So it's just massively important for those players. And I think that's the challenge for probably us as coaches as well, and has been over the last number of weeks, just to bring that cohesiveness together, because there has been, 2 weeks ago there was 10 changes. Last week there was 10 changes. There's obviously going to be a few changes this week. So you got to build that up during the week, and it's something that we've focused on a huge amount as well, and spoken about that, whether it's out training, whether we're doing an indoor session, whether we're in the video room, it's just really important that we're connecting and we're cohesive there, because you need that obviously for performances on the weekend, especially at this time of the year where there's going to be changes. There's definitely I suppose a change up in their game, saying that it's 3 games, and it's hard to get exactly a full map of where they're at. Obviously they've Stuart Lancaster coming in, and I know he spoke about small bit more of game management, and you've probably seen that in their game. They're they don't mess around too much in their own half. They like to, I suppose, play the game down the opposition's half. So we'll be expecting that. I thought last week, for the last 20 minutes, when they really went at the Bulls in terms of the attack, I thought they looked very, very sharp. And they were probably very unlucky not to win the game in the end. So they've obviously had a win at home against Benetton as well. So there has been a shift up on how they play. I won't say pragmatic, but it's probably There's a bit more, I suppose, kicking meters in it, etc., etc. So yeah, we'll have our homework hopefully done on that as well, you know. So because as I said, when they go to their attack game, which has been something that's been strong over the last number of years, they have the ability and they can hurt teams there.